So when we did the Trent Williams for Anthony Harris video the other day, I was sort of resigned to the fact that Anthony Harris probably could be gone, where it did seem like the Vikings slapped that franchise tag on him just to have options to potentially trade him and get some immediate value for him as opposed to waiting for a 2021 compensatory pick. It just didn't seem in the cards that they would potentially extend him long term, but we talked about when there are no leaks, that means that something's happening. And with Anthony Harris and the Vikings, there had been no leaks, but we get a little something now. Now, leaks that throw the other side under the bus, like saying the other side's been unreasonable, like you see in the Trent Williams very contentious relationship with Washington. Yeah, that means that absolutely nothing is happening. But now, a little bit something's happening. So Chris Tomasson, Pioneer Press, tweeted this out. Vikings just might keep Anthony Harris around. Sources say they've been active lately discussing possible long-term extension for him. One source believes now an increased chance of Harris being with them in 2020, either on franchise tag or long-term deal. End quote. So positive leak that benefits both sides. So now going the full Cicero route, Quay Bona, who benefits. I mean, it's pretty clear that the Vikings do, right? So potentially getting the news out of extending a fan favorite, a young piece of that secondary, especially as that secondary has been carved up literally and figuratively in season as well as this off season. So, I mean, it's clear that they're either interested extending or playing him on the tag. But of course, leaking this information would also benefit the Vikings if they were seeking to trade Harris, because it gives them a little bit more leverage. Because the number one leverage that you have in any negotiation is walking away. Just like, all right, we're done. We don't need this deal. So the Vikings are putting out into the universe now to all potential Anthony Harris trade partners that, hey, we'll play him. We'll just play him on the tag, or we'll extend him. No deal. So if you want him, I got to bring it a little bit. Yeah, and I did think that Harris playing on a tag was probably the least likely scenario at this point. Just because you find yourself in the same position next year where you have a player who's another year older as well as a 20% increase on the franchise tag. So, safety market's weird. And by the way, like we mentioned in the other video, so Anthony Harris is represented by Brian Murphy, Athletes First. They also did the deals on Kevin Byard with Tennessee as well as Landon Collins in Washington. So probably not getting a hometown discount because they're very well versed in the safety market and getting top of the food chain money. So I do think that he does deserve top tier safety money. I think he's been phenomenal the last 2 years, but does he deserve Eddie Jackson money? $14.6 million per year. That's the apex of this year's safety extension market. I mean, sure, but also I don't think that he'll get that. I mean, could easily be making $11 million per year on a multi-year deal, 3-4 year deal, which would make him top 7-ish in the safety market. Now, is that worth it? Maybe, but also remember, the Vikings, these extensions, negotiating with Harris and his representation, that also starts off the negotiating point for when their agent contacts other teams as well, which they're very free to do on the franchise tag. So this is all getting very thick. It is. But I would love to keep Anthony Harris around. I was sort of resigned that the Vikings would eventually trade him, just get some immediate value for him, which would be they would be derelict in their duty if they didn't do that. So I was fine with it. Especially Zimmer calling the safety position not important. But maybe this just shows another rift between Spielman and Zimmer. It's just like, I'm going to re-sign Anthony Harris after you called his position not important just to own the Zims. Just do it. I mean, obviously the Vikings do have a tight cap situation, $11.44 million on the cap on the tag. Also, you have Harrison Smith making $10+ million per year. I mean, most teams don't have $21, $22, $23 million tied up in the safety position, right? But I really like him. 2-year starter. 2018 was the numero 3 Stephon Marbury rated safety in terms of PFF grading at 89.0. 2019, he was the number 2 Malik Sealy, RIP, in PFF grading at 90.5 behind only Isaiah Simmons, who's a freaking rock star out in Denver, right? So he's been a phenomenal player, and he is a ball hawk. He is a much-needed spark on the back end of that defense, tied for the NFL league in interceptions this past season. And with so much change on the defense, especially in the secondary, just having a little bit of continuity would be kind of nice. So if they can work something out, long-term extension that has a smaller 2020 cap, kick that can down the road for when the cap goes up, perfectly down to clown with it. But like I said, I mean, just because this got out, I mean, no information leaks for no reason, right? So if the Vikings put it out there a little bit to appease fans, but also putting out to other teams out there is like, we could keep them. We could keep them. So up your trade offers. So I still think we are far from the end of this Anthony Harris situation, but I would love to see him in purple. Otherwise, give us that second round pick. That is all. But are your thoughts? Anthony Harris, reportedly active in potential long-term extension with the Vikings. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time, Skol, production value.